to another Short and Sweet, where the reviews are short.
And it's really sweet that they shared it with us.
It's really sweet that ASW Distillery has shared their new Toasted Bourbon and Toasted Rye. This is a double, so it might not be as short as normal, but it'll
Hopefully
be
it's extra
doubly sweet.
Yeah. ASW Distillery, not one that I'm super familiar with, out of Atlanta. 2 products from them, both toasted barrel finished. We got a wheated bourbon and a rye, cask strength.
Yes, the wheated bourbon is a single barrel and cask strength, as you said. We're gonna do that one first, so let's just concentrate on the bourbon.
Sounds good.
Which is over here in this glass.
121.6 proof. I believe it's 6 years and 8 months. Yes, and it was finished for 1.5 months in that secondary barrel.
In the toasted barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you definitely get the toasted on the nose.
Ooh. By the way, this should be around $65 is what we saw online.
There's a local restaurant here that makes a corn pudding that gets like crispy on the edges and like almost like caramelized corn pudding. And American.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
And the nose smells like how their cream corn smells.
Yeah.
Or it's not even like a cream corn, it's like a cream corn casserole or something.
Or one of those hard candies. I can see it. It's sort of rounded and then it dips down in the middle.
A Werther's?
Maybe it's a Werther's. Well, yeah, they're sort of a butterscotchy.
Yeah.
You can sort of connect those two flavors.
I don't know. That's just what jumped out in my head first, was this like cream corn casserole kind of thing.
Agreed. It's an interesting, good nose. To your health.
The proof is proofing.
121.6.
Ooh, today.
I don't know. I feel like okay. It's building.
Yeah.
It's building heat.
I still get the cream corn on the palate. It's really good. Like, you know, I guess it's a Southern thing. You'll have to come try it. We're kind of Southern, but if you haven't had it, and that sounds weird.
It's one of my favorites.
Is it a side? Is it a vegetable? Is it dessert? I don't know.
All three?
Can it be all three at once?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, you know, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows and stuff on top. It's like, is that a...
No marshmallows.
Is it a vegetable?
Not my family.
Is it a side? Is it dessert? I like the proof on this. It just took me a second to... Whew.
I don't think the proof hit me as hard as it did you, and well, you're going in for your second sip already, so obviously you're ready for it. I was getting ready to say I'm ready for my second sip.
I think with the wheat, you know, you get, again, that corn forward because the wheat is such a soft grain. I like the toasted and the high proof because it helps to balance out the sweetness that is the wheat. I think without the toasted and or maybe not at cask strength, this would be too sweet for me. But it's hitting a good level of sweet. Like, it is still, I feel, desserty, but the toasted is really helping to offset that.
This is a weird train of thought, Sarah, but I've started to think, would this be good in a cocktail? And I was thinking, yes, but maybe not like an old fashioned. I was thinking like with a cream soda. I feel like this would go really well with a cream soda. Okay, second sip, yes. Into that hug, spreading out. But it's not overly hot, and I think that is probably because of the wheated mash bill, and also the secondary, you know, barreling tends to quell what you know can be perceived as some heat sometimes.
Some harsh edges, some heat.
Yeah, going back, it's a sipper. I just want to keep going back to it. In fact, I'm going to.
Oh yeah, I've been in twice now, so I think I'll let it sit for a few minutes till the end.
Yeah.
Before we get into the rye.
For $65, I think that's...
For $65, right? You're
deal.
getting cask strength. 6 years and 8 months, so nearly 7 years. Again, secondary barrel. This is making me feel like I need to keep an eye on this distillery more than I have been. And now I'm like, bad.
Oh, I see. Char level 1, toast level heavy. Okay, I didn't see the slash there. 45% wheat. So low in corn.
Well, that's surprising, but I guess whatever corn is there, again, the wheat is taking a backseat. Yeah. So it's like, hey, we're corn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shall we do the rye?
We shall, but before we do, I'll go ahead and switch them though. Before we do, I want to tell you about our home on the internet. It's whiskyambitions.com. Did you know that's where you can get this pocket tea that has, what's it have on the back, Sarah?
It has our logo on the back.
Oh, there we go, yes. Our hats, the Glencairns we're drinking from, of course. Sarah, you're drinking more bourbon.
Mine drink more
Matches my hat, how about that?
Sure does.
That right. Our elemental elixir cocktail syrup. In fact, all of our glassware is over there. Hoodies, because you know it's cold out. And more always coming soon at whiskyambitions.com.
And you can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join our community for as little as $1 a month. That is where we release our barrel picks exclusively to our patrons. Oftentimes it sells out there. They also get discounts on that merch that Chad was talking about. First pick of events and other things and more. Lots more.
And we'll be right back. All right, the rye. What do we know about the rye? It's the same price.
It's the same age.
Yeah, 6 years, 8 months.
It's a 95.5 rye.
A longer finish. 48 weeks.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that this is in weeks and then this one's in months. This is 1.5 months, so I'm like, why didn't they say 6 weeks? But it's fine, I don't care. But yeah, this one says 48 weeks.
A little higher on the char. This is a char level 2, but it's a heavy toast.
Heavy toast.
A little lower in proof. 114.8 proof. I love a secondarily finished 95.5 typically.
I also do. Tend to enjoy those.
Looking forward to this.
Also $65 MSRP, about that range. Maple syrup. I mean,
maple syrup and honey.
I was gonna say, this nose, it's not quite as intense and strong, but it reminds me of the nose notes that we get when we smell the Angel's Envy rye. That like maple syrup, waffles, and also kind of holiday-y. Holiday-y. That's a word, I made it up. I don't know, it's fine.
But also, it is a 95.5, and I am getting sort of that eucalyptus in there too.
I'm getting a little bit of mint, but mostly baking spice. And again, that little maple syrup note. I don't know.
No, I feel like I can breathe a little better when I nose this. Cheers again. Okay, yeah, more on the palate than on the nose of that eucalyptus, the rye spice, the sort of pine, foresty, effervescence type of feel.
This is absolutely a rye. It is unmistakably a rye, as it should be for a 95.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of those quintessential rye notes coming through right off the bat to take a term from Chad's book. But the toasted barrel is softening it a little bit, but it is still very rye forward.
Yeah, as you said, you're not gonna mistake this for a high rye bourbon. This is a rye, so if you're not a rye fan, but maybe you're more on the high rye bourbon type of tip, I would say if you're not a rye fan, this one's not gonna be for you. If you are a rye fan, especially if you like a toasted rye like I do, this is bringing the 95.5, but still it's being quilled down a little bit, which I love.
Whew, I can honestly add a couple drops of water to this one.
Do you wanna?
I mean, sure, why not? All right, I added a little water to mine.
Second sip, I like it even more. But yeah, I'm gonna do for my third sip, I'm gonna add some water.
I do think though, first take on the rye is, if you found in the past that you do enjoy the Angel's Envy rye, then I think this is right up your alley. And if you found that you don't, then maybe go with the bourbon on this one. I don't know.
I have to say, Angel's Envy rye, so much more maple than this though.
But I'm just saying they're in the same category of mapley.
Yes, this is just lower.
Yeah. A couple drops of water.
I think that's where it's at.
I think that's where it's at. A couple drops of water sings.
Yeah,
I love it.
Sure does.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, for $65, again, 6 years, 8 months, some people might say, well, that's a little low for that price range. But when you consider also the proof and then the double barrel process and the quality of what's in it, I think this is, a super fair product. I enjoy it. Which one do you like better?
Oh.
If you had to choose between them.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that.
All right, let's
go
think
back
about
to the
it.
bourbon. Man, that bourbon's good.
Weird, like creamed corn casserole side, or like it's really drawing me to it with the toasted note. But when I added that couple drops of water to the rye, I gotta say, I think I might be barely on Team Rye.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm Team Rye. What do you think?
Well, as a rule, I'm more of a fan. I'm a stronger fan of bourbon than I am rye. So there is that.
You lean a little bit that way.
Bias. It's more what I'm in the mood for. It's really cold out, so I'm leaning towards ryes right now. That's my type of rye after we put those few drops of water in there. Water. But I can't deny the proof and just the experience of the bourbon. I'm gonna call it a draw.
A draw. He's gonna call it a draw. All right.
Yeah, but for both of them, I would recommend these guys.
Yeah, I agree. They're distributed in a good amount of states, so keep an eye out. I believe through Total Wine.
Total Wine, yeah.
So keep an eye out for them. I think it's worth a try.
Agreed. And that's where you better leave it. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to us already, you can do so by clicking right up here. There's suggestions of other videos down here. Hope to see you there in one of those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you, ASW. Until next time, drink more bourbon and rye.